Hey everyone, and welcome back to Underdog Investing. So today I'd like to talk about Sofi. I've got some very exciting news to share, and it's very bullish for Sofi as a company itself, but also bullish for anyone like a retail investor like myself and yourself. So before I jump into this, I'll be grateful if you could smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for future updates. So let's jump straight into it. This is an article by Bazinga. So Sofi offers customers early access to IPOs. What investors should know. So basically, traditionally, institutional investors have always had advantages over retail investors. And one of the reasons why is because they have early access to IPOs. So let's say, for example, a company wants to go public on a particular day. And let's say on that day, pre-market. So institutional investors can actually invest pre-market. And so imagine if that stock was meant to be $50. Now what's happened is the institutional investors will buy it all up, and then by the time retail investors could invest in this stock, the stock would have already reached about $100. So that's already put us at a massive disadvantage, because the moment the stock goes public, basically the institutional investors make a 2x return, whilst the retail investors are left holding the bags. But Sofi is here to change that. Sofi wants to level the playing field and empower retail investors. So how are they going to do that? So customers who have at least $3,000 in Sofi Invest accounts are eligible to invest in upcoming IPOs before the shares trade on an exchange. So the service will be exclusive to the Sofi app. Users will submit an indication of interest and confirm their buy order. So that's how they're going to do it. Basically, they're going to allow retail investors who have $3,000 in the Sofi Invest accounts to actually invest in IPOs at a fair price, basically. So they're enabling us to buy very good companies at fair prices. And so it looks like at the moment Sofi is the only platform that allows that. The other thing is that I wanted to mention is that Sofi are not only allowing us to buy these stocks at reasonable prices, but they're also empowering us to invest safely and in a proper way. So let's have a look here. So investors should be aware of certain rules put in place to discourage flipping. And flipping is basically buying and selling very quickly just to make a short profit. If an investor sells within the first 30 days post-IPO, they will be limited to participate in future IPOs, including up to a 180-day sit-out period. Multiple violations could result in a 365-day sit-out period or a suspension from the IPO platform. Sofi may also charge a $50 fee for the sale of IPO shares in the first 120 days post-IPO and $5 for each subsequent sale within the 120-day initial window. So what they're basically saying is they're discouraging people who are trying to buy the stock at a reasonable price, and then once it goes up, sell it straight away. And this is the wrong way to invest, because this is more like gambling. Whereas Sofi are basically saying the right thing to do is to buy the stock, think about the long-term vision and hold it for a longer period of time. And so that's why they're putting in these restrictions, saying we don't want you to sell within 30 days. And if you have to sell within 120 days, we're going to charge you a high fee. And this is only good. And the reason why it's good is because, like I said, they're discouraging this type of short-term gambling behavior and encouraging things like holding long-term into the future. So this is very good for investors. It's basically teaching us how to invest properly. So traditionally, access to IPOs before they're traded on an exchange has been reserved for large institutional investors, and this is what Sofi said. So the launch of the platform sets Sofi apart from other brokerages and could be a great marketing tool to land new accounts. So I think loads of people are going to be flocking to Sofi because of this news. It's really huge news. And the reason is, let's say, for example, Sofi is the only platform where you can invest in an IPO, a very valuable company at a very reasonable price. And any other platform you pick, you're going to be left having to buy the IPO stock at a much higher price. then no one's going to stick with these platforms. They're all going to go to SoFi. And the reason is because it gives us the opportunity to level the playing field when we're competing against institutional investors. And also it's teaching us how to invest in the long term. So this is very, very good news for SoFi and anyone who's holding SoFi. So let's finish off with the stock and what I'm planning to do. So we finished today, so Friday the 26th of March at $17.10, and that's 2.8% up. So it's not a bad day for us. If you consider the other tech stocks, which some of which went down quite significantly. Let's have a look at the 6 month. So you can see that on January the 6th, after we announced the merger between SoFi and Ipoe, you can see that we jumped straight to $19. And we even reached a high of about $25.78. And the good news is we haven't really sunk below the $19 mark very often, so only very occasionally. And more recently, since the tech sell-off, we've had lower prices. And the way I see this is it's a very good price to enter the stock, and I actually bought some at around $20, and I'm planning to buy a bit more at these prices. And the reason is because firstly, the stock price has been depressed due to a sell-off in the tech sector. So that's the first reason. And the second reason is with this news, it's extremely bullish. The fact that we have a massive advantage compared to other platforms out there. And the final thing that I wanted to mention is I think we're planning to complete the merger in the first quarter of 2021. I don't know if this is possible, but I do think it's going to be quite soon. And once that happens, I think that's really going to push up the stock price further. So I think we've got a lot higher to go. I think this could easily reach $30 with these positive catalysts that I've just mentioned. So anyway, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.